I watched this particular video, and what this man said in this video broke my heart. What he said about late Prophet T.B. Joshua. This is a notorious criminal, not just a criminal. Like I said in my previous video, that I will make a separate video about him. What you are about to hear from this video or this news will break your heart. I want you guys to watch it to the very end before you comment, because if you comment along the line, you might just miss it up. It happened to me when I was watching the whole story. Now, this particular guy, like I said in my previous video, he is a terrorist. Not just a terrorist, he's an assassin. Not just an assassin, he's a dreadful one, buying a lot of people for politicians. And politicians are paying him to take out their opponent. But thank God he was arrested today, and this is his story. What he said in this video will change your own mind, and especially the things he said about late Prophet T.B. Joshua. We'll be right back. Let's listen.
Okay, how much were you paid to kill him?
I was not paid to kill him. I did it. I shoot him myself to free myself. I did not pay. Nobody sent me to kill him. He offended me. He's killing my family because he wants to kill me. That's why I go for him. I do it for vengeance. I never do it before, but just for me to free, because I'm not free if the boy is alive.
You may not know this, but the man you just listened to was one of the most feared killers in Ebira land, Kogi State, Nigeria. The name his parents gave him was Abubakar Abdul Karim, but on the street, he was known by many nicknames, notably Ijo Boy and Ijogbo, which was translated to mean someone who likes trouble. However, out of all these titles, the only one that struck fear into the hearts of people, and even the police, was his status as the Commandant General of all the political thugs in Ebira land. This is the chilling story of Abubakar Abdul Karim, a vicious assassin who signed his own death warrant after giving his life to Christ. But in order for him to fully move away from his terrifying past, he had to eliminate one last person and then bury his remains in 3 different local government areas within Kogi State. Abubakar Abdul Karim was not just any ordinary criminal. He was the brain behind most of the political killings that had turned the region into a graveyard of broken dreams and shattered families. For years, Abubakar ruled the criminal world with an iron fist. Politicians who wanted their enemies silenced knew exactly who to call, and this person was always Abubakar Abdul Karim. He had perfected what he called the art of killing, and business was always booming as usual. With his gang of brutal thugs, he terrorized political opponents and eliminated anyone who stood in the way of his powerful plans. But success in the world of assassination came with a very terrible price for Abubakar. He had killed so many people that he lost count of the bodies. The ghost of his victims haunted him day and night, making it impossible for him to find peace. Sleep became his enemy, and loneliness turned into torture as the faces of the dead appeared before him in the darkness. To cope with the constant torment, Abubakar turned to hard drugs. The chemicals numbed his mind and silenced the voices of his victims, but they could not wash away the blood on his hands. The Kogi State Police knew all about Abubakar and his deadly activities. For years, he had been a thorn in their flesh, always one step ahead of their investigations. Every time they got close to capturing him, he would vanish like smoke, leaving behind only death and destruction. His reputation grew with every successful kill, and soon he became untouchable. Politicians protected him because they needed his services, and the police struggled to build cases against someone who operated in the shadows and left no witnesses alive. But everything changed when a new governor came to power with a radical idea. In 2010, the then governor of Kogi State, Alhaji Ibrahim Idris, introduced something that nobody expected: an amnesty program for criminals in the state. The message was simple: surrender your weapons and walk free, or face the full wrath of the law. Abubakar watched from his hideout as other criminals began to surrender. He had no intention of giving up his lucrative business, but the new commissioner of police had different plans. The then commissioner of police issued a direct threat to Abubakar. He told him to either join other criminals and surrender, or he would be declared wanted, with a massive manhunt to follow. Faced with the choice between capture and surrender, Abubakar made a decision that would change his life forever. He came out of hiding, disbanded his gang, and handed over all his weapons to the authorities. But this was just the beginning of a transformation that nobody saw coming. Shortly after surrendering his weapons, something extraordinary happened. Abubakar was watching television when a program featuring the now deceased Prophet T.B. Joshua of the Synagogue Church of All Nations in Lagos caught his attention. The message of redemption and forgiveness touched something deep inside the hardened criminal. Driven by an unexplainable desire to change his life, Abubakar made a journey to Lagos that would shock everyone who knew him. At the church, he did the unthinkable. He openly confessed all his crimes and asked for deliverance from his dark past. The prophet prayed for him and conducted a deliverance service, and when Abubakar returned to Kogi State, he claimed to be a changed man. He embraced Christianity and tried to live a new life, leaving behind his days as the Commandant General of Death. However, the politicians who had used his services were not celebrating his transformation. They were absolutely terrified. The same politicians who had once paid Abubakar to eliminate their enemies now saw him as their biggest threat. A born-again assassin with detailed knowledge of their crimes was a ticking time bomb that could explode at any moment. They could not trust that his conversion was real, and they certainly could not risk him deciding to confess to their involvement in his past murders. The solution was simple but deadly. Abubakar had to disappear forever. The politicians reached out to another thug named Farouk Lawal and gave him a contract that would seal both of their fates. The mission was clear: eliminate Abubakar before he could expose their secrets. Farouk Lawal began his deadly assignment with the patience of a professional killer. He studied Abubakar's movements, learned his routines, and waited for the perfect moment to strike. But Abubakar was no ordinary target. He was a former assassin who understood the game better than most. When Abubakar first heard rumors that someone had put a bounty on his head, he thought it was just gossip. After all, he was now a changed man, trying to live peacefully. However, Farouk was about to prove that the past never truly dies. The first strike came without any warning. Farouk went to Abubakar's house and killed his sister in cold blood, sending a clear message that this was no idle threat. But he was not finished yet. Next, Farouk abducted Abubakar's pregnant wife, planning to use her as bait to lure his target into a trap. However, Abubakar's former gang members, who were still loyal to their old leader, managed to rescue her before Farouk could carry out his plan. After the attacks on his family, Abubakar realized that his conversion meant nothing to those who wanted him dead. His Christian faith told him to forgive, but his survival instincts screamed for revenge. In the end, the old Abubakar made the final decision. He decided that to protect himself and his family, he had to eliminate Farouk before Farouk eliminated him. Using all the skills that had made him the most feared assassin in Ibera land, Abubakar tracked down his would-be killer. When he found Farouk, there was no mercy, no hesitation, and no witnesses. Abubakar eliminated his enemy with the same cold efficiency that had made him famous. But this time, he took an extra step that would seal his own fate. To ensure that Farouk could never be found, Abubakar cut the body into 3 pieces and buried each part in a different local government area across Kogi State. It was such a gruesome end to a deadly game of cat and mouse.
Hit somebody in Okene local government, dump the corpse in Adavi local government, come and bury the head in Okene local government. These are 3 local governments. I believe that he must have a link before he come to Okene. That is my concern.
After disposing of Farouk's body, Abubakar knew that his days in Kogi State were over. He fled to Port Harcourt in Rivers State, hoping to disappear into the crowded city and start afresh. Unfortunately, the police had learned about his latest skill, and this time, there would be no escape. They launched a nationwide manhunt that reached every corner of Nigeria, determined to bring the former Commandant General to justice. With excellent detective work and determination, the police tracked Abubakar to Port Harcourt and arrested him. The man, who had once been untouchable, was finally in custody, and his reign of terror was officially over. Back in Kogi State, Abubakar found himself in a familiar situation. He was facing interrogation by the same police force that had hunted him for years. But this time, he had no gang to protect him and also no way to run to. During questioning, Abubakar led the police to the 3 different locations where he had buried Farouk's remains. The police recovered all the remains and then took him into custody, pending legal proceedings and his eventual conviction. This marked the end of one of the most notorious criminal careers in Kogi State history. What do you think about this incredible story of crime, conviction, and consequence? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more true crime stories. Thank you for watching.
Now you listen to the story. The only thing that comes to my mind, and I want you to also give your own opinion, is that this case shouldn't be swept under carpet. the politicians that are patronizing him, contacting him, and paying him to do all these kind of things should also be brought to book. But we are in Nigeria, would they do that? Of course, everybody knows they will not do it. Thank God that the guy, though he committed a lot of crime and they said he was repented, the same politicians being so scared that, okay, their own crime or whatsoever involvement in his career will be in the public space, so they wanted to neutralize him. That's what caused the other thing that makes him to go back to his lifestyle, to neutralize that person that killed his sister. For me, what he did there is not a crime, is not something that is bad, though taking somebody's life is bad, but in self-defense is not bad. But you could have as well report to police. But everybody also know how the political system and the Nigerian security agencies are also compromised and corrupt, especially in some cases like this. Once you report to the police, as long as you involve a top person, they will want to call this top person and say, see what this person talk. They say, hey, I beg you, buy, police will just carry out their own raid, boy, and that's it. Except maybe the whole thing involved the opposition. But now, who are the politicians? Will they say it? Of course, welcome to Nigeria, where black are blue and blue is black. And even your president even confirm it, say black are blue, blue is black, which is blah blah, blah blue. The country is so immense since 2015 till very date, to the point that they are not paying e-talks to go on social media to be tackling somebody. How many of you guys have watched that particular video of that state governor threatening all the SSA that are not going out on social media to be defending them, saying, oh, we'll fish you out and arrest you because we are paying you salary to go on the social media to be attacking those that are attacking us? What did they call attack? Those that are voicing out and speaking or spilling the truth about them. That is why the other day, a state governor arrested somebody for recording the current dilapidated state of their hospitals and said, why will you do this? They arrested him and put him in jail. Up to now, he's still under their police custody without being released or investigated or asking, without being released or questioning the state governor for doing it. That is what is happening in Nigeria now. A whistle blow, if you blow whistle, they blow your eye. Don't just, if you see, don't talk. If you talk, you get into problem. That's why they said, our politicians are saying it. There is freedom of speech. There is no freedom after speech. Once you have a freedom to speak, but you might not have that freedom after you speak. Anyway, I'll rest my case here. What do you guys think about what he said about TV Joshua, how he went there to redeem himself, how God used TV Joshua to deliver him, and now he was living a peaceful life, though he's past. And at the same time, the fact that you committed it 20 years ago does not make you innocent today, as long as you have not served your jail. So if courts have proven you not guilty, then you'll be free. Now, my basic part is that, where are those politicians? Would those politicians be arrested, or would the politician not pay them now to buy these people and buy this guy? And you hear something like breaking news: a prisoner or a notorious prisoner escaped from prison. They do it a lot in Edo State. You hear breaking news: a notorious criminal escaped from police custody. That's how they do it. Anyway, rest my case here. Unfortunately, we cannot force the Nigerian courts or the police to follow up the case and give us the rest gist. So if there's any other thing that comes out after this, definitely I will be here to give you guys. But till then, let's keep on watching. I love you guys. God love you more. Until we meet again, peace out. Please subscribe. I don't know what you're waiting for. Like this video, comment your thought about this video. Above all, subscribe if you have not done so. If you do, turn on your notification bell so that you wouldn't miss out our future uploads. Until we meet again, I love you guys. Bye.